Thank you. The next person we're having is Soxx Soko. He's from Zimbabwe. He's one of UK's most popular event director and host. He's the co-founder of Team 2 Soxx Entertainment, a London-based event services organization that has been in within operating within the wedding industry. He's had about 20 years experience across Africa and Europe. Welcome, Soxx.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what's your role as an event director? What does that mean? What does it entail?
So I was listening very well to Yinka and Reverend Endra. I found that very, very interesting. In the Zimbabwean sort of tradition,
Yeah.
we don't have a traditional wedding MC.
Right.
So I found that quite interesting how they have it. We have a go between.
All right.
So my role comes in when we're looking at the ceremony, which
Uh-huh.
is the vow exchange, the formal bit, and then we have the reception, the big party that we have. So my role comes in planning for the ceremony bit
Mm-hmm.
and the reception, and then obviously hosting that as well, making sure that it all goes well.
Uh-huh.
So I then become the MC. So I'm actually an MC, or basically a glorified wedding coordinator, or the person that runs everything from the moment we leave the ceremony
Mm-hmm.
to the moment the family walk into the celebrations
Right.
until they are done. I then run that whole program.
All right. Thank you. So, do you get involved with the other African countries? Say, for example, you've heard from Mrs. Emmanuel, she's Nigerian. So, how do you coordinate with them, given the fact that we have slightly different culture?
Very, very exciting, and yes, I've done I've gone right across Africa and Europe. I've done Ghanaian, I've done Ugandan weddings, I've done Nigerian weddings. Very, very exciting, very, very exciting. But I think what makes my life a lot easier as an event director is that, like I said, I insist on starting at the celebrations part. So
Right.
everything else that's happening before that,
Right.
there's a lot of you've got to step very carefully.
Right.
Like Reverend Andrew is saying, the decorum, the approach, etc. So you've got to be somebody who understands that bit. Before I do any wedding, that's not Zimbabwean. I'm Zimbabwean by birth, that all comes to me naturally. But anything else thereafter, I do a lot of research, obviously. But the second part of it, the celebrations part of it, is what I find much, much easier. Even though it's not just a big party, there still are some steps that you have to go through. There still are bits that you have to make sure you don't mess up, because they could obviously mess the whole day up, literally.
Ah, interesting. When you have a cross section of guests,
Yes.
how would you know, because you're MC, how would you know how to bring everybody together? How do you keep them engaged?
You see, and that's the exciting part. I think that's what's made my role a lot easier, because of the family backgrounds coming together from wherever.
Right.
Um, to avoid that polarization, to avoid that one family sort of dominating the whole proceedings, I'm coming in as an independent. So I've worked with the bride and groom quite a lot before their wedding.
Right.
I've taken their instructions. I know what they want us to do. I've met the families. I've spoken to either side of the families as well. I've done my research.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the event itself, I'm now following some kind of script that we're
Right.
working with to make sure that we go through all the formalities.
Right.
So, like again, Reverend Andrew is saying that the auntie can play a big part. When it comes to the celebrations, they will try and step their toes a bit, but then they'll realize actually, no, there's somebody who's coming in to run the show. So
Right.
they then have to step back. My engagement is making sure that I am very, very leveled. I'm very balanced. I pick up a few hints, about different cultures, what happens in this family, what happens in that family, the key people in the family, and I work with them on the day.
Right.
My approach is quite relaxed, nice, warm, funny. I'll ever go at the in-laws, I'll ever go at this and that, just to make it all nice and perfect. But while doing all that, I have a script, I have a timetable that I'm working towards to make sure that everything that is planned goes according to plan. So we don't have a wedding where the cake is done last minute because auntie was taking too much time speaking and then uncle was dancing and that went off. Let's have a big party, but it's all coordinated somehow, somewhere. And
Mhm.
that's what I tend to do.
All right then. Thank you so much for that.